Hello, everyone. Thanks, Claire, for coming. I just titled this stream. I wanted to ask everyone. The title of this stream is "Can anyone in Wales send me a copy of a book called The Concept, a scans of a copy of a book. It's a thesis in the Welsh Library. It's called The Concept of Reality in Christian Science and in White of Vedanta by Tina Angela Bland. My email, vincent.bruno.1229@gmail.com, and a link to a link to the book itself in the Welsh Library is there. So this is on. I have a new blog called ChristianScienceHinduism.blogspot.com, where I am basically trying to pry apart Christian Science, and by prying apart Christian Science, going after Vedanta because they're kind of similar, and yeah. So anyway, I wanted to title it that because I really need to find this book, and I think it's really important. Christian Science is really important, and because children die from Christian Science, the parents, don't let them have medicine, and then they die. And also, Hinduism is kind of like um, entering into the West, and if you, I have that new blog as well. She was anti-Hindu. What's the name of the blog? Scientific Nordic Paganism.blogspot.com. And she, Mathilda Ludendorff, was very much against Hinduism, and she was a psychiatrist, and she said it's because this idea that Maya, that the universe is illusion, and that the universe exists inside of you and is not really an outside concept, was not good for your mental health and wasn't actually the true serious reality. And she was a psychiatrist, and obviously a semi-scientist in that respect. Um so um and obviously, to me, Christian Science represents the extent of, so I'm in the opposite direction where I'm more of a materialist. And it anyway, it's just, and that we can talk about idolatry, Claire, because I know that's your thing. But it's just that, well, it bleeds into that. My question on idolatry and God becoming, is God material? Is material God? Which would be prohibited under the Noahide laws to say that God is material. So it is relevant to the Noahide laws. Like, well, Mary Baker Eddy, I guess it's not idolatry. She didn't believe in the Trinity. And obviously, if she didn't even believe the material existed, then she didn't believe that God took shape. So, I mean, Jesus wasn't even really there, was he? Claire? Claire?
Yes, I didn't. I was talking while muted. So you are saying that you want to warn people against Christian Science and Vedanta. That is your motive.
Yes, to warn people against Christian Science and Vedanta.
And you don't like either because Christian Science says we should avoid doctors and hospitals and hope that God will cure us of whatever illness we have. And what about Vedanta? Why
Well,
don't you
it is
approve
that
of
about
Vedanta?
it is that about Christian Science, but it's more, I'm trying to relate Christian Science to Vedanta, and that this, like, the universe isn't real, material isn't real, the universe is inside your mind, it's not really outside your mind, and the universe is consciousness and stuff like that.
Well, these beliefs are intended to, well, I mean, we don't even know. I mean, the system of beliefs that Jews have about the Abrahamic God and also Muslims makes the most sense. This idea that God created the universe, the Abrahamic God created the universe and now exists outside it. as pure spirit and energy. And then it just means we're not supposed to worship anything that we can see. And therefore, so the question to ask would be, well, how are we going to worship God then? And the answer would be, follow the rules, read the scripture, and then you would be closer to worshipping God correctly. So I think that is basically the whole idea of forbidding idolatry. And basically with the idea that, and you will have better results if you followed the book of rules that was revealed to the Jews and the Muslims, and you just have a more stable economy, more stable politics, and I think that's the idea. And of course, the Muslims will say, look, we have been around for 1400 years. The only theocracies still standing are Muslim ones. The Vatican doesn't count. And, and there we were, and here we are. And the Jews. Well, the Jews don't even believe in their own stuff. And the really a liberal democracy. And then the question might come up about, well, what is liberal democracy then? Are liberal Democrats idolaters? And I know you'll go, oh, you can't just call everything idolatry, Claire. And my answer is that according to the Islamic principles of hidden idolatry, anything that takes you away from obeying the laws of God is hidden idolatry, even if you're not actually actively bowing before idols. So I'm just saying, if you want to show disapproval of Christian Science and Vedanta, just call Hindus and Christian scientists idolaters. Well, at
Well,
least you get more of a reaction.
look,
They'll say,
no, but
oh, don't
okay,
call us that.
that's under your definition. I'm more interested in the way the Jews classify them and the fact that Jews feel very comfortable converting to Christian Science because it's not idolatry. And I'm more interested in its classical Noahidic definition. Is would it uh okay, no religion is permissible. They've written a new book, haven't they? Which I don't know if it's, I guess it's divinely inspired.
Sorry, who's written what book?
Christian Science has its own textbook, right? Science and
But
Health.
I think you must know that Jews don't exactly approve of Christianity.
No,
They
but this,
did execute Jesus or wanted him dead.
well, yes, but the thing is that there's no Trinity. So it's, the thing is that there was a rabbi who converted to Christian Science, and he was interviewed, and he made it clear that he converted to Christian Science because there's no Trinity in it. The thing is that the Jews are more interested at this point in time about whether or not a religion fits the classical definition of idolatry, rather than any questions about hidden idolatry, and that's not you know what they're talking about. They're talking about, whether you're bowing before an idol or whatever. And, the thing is that, okay, let's just say, so, well, like, yes, the question, like, is God inside an idol or not? And if you don't think God is inside the idol when you bow to it, is that idolatry? And some Jews say if you're a Gentile, you're allowed to do that, and some say you're not. But like, it's a
Okay,
question.
but we should decide, because otherwise we'll be going down this alley of yes and no all the time. So
Well,
is
you just
bowing
choose
before,
one.
I mean, they're very clear about bowing before idols. So even if the idolaters, oh, we don't really think the God is actually it's just a representation, as the Hindus would say, the Jews would say, or Orthodox Jews would say, no, that's bowing before idols. You have an idol. We're out of here. You're not Noahide, and we want nothing to do with you. Because the whole thing is confused. Because technically Buddhism is an atheist philosophy. But if you go to any Buddhist temple, you'll find statues and idols of Buddha. So is it or isn't it? Oh, the Jews are too polite to say.
Well,
I mean,
no,
okay, there's no point
it is a
asking
deeper
ordinary Jews. You
question.
have to, or
It
Reformed.
is it is a deeper question because the thing is Shatuf allowed, and well, look, if you're going to allow Shatuf, then why not allow that? Why not
Okay,
allow?
so what we need to decide is whether Shituf is worse than Avodah Zarah, right? That's we have to we have to be methodical if we really want to get anywhere.
It
And
is
I'm saying
worse,
I'm already
but
there. I'm saying obviously it's idolatry, and if you want to show disapproval of these Christians and Hindus, just call them idolaters, and then they'll say, "Oh, what? How dare you?" And then you can tell them why, if that's what you want to do.
I know, but well, unfortunately, you're right. The only people that can't be shamed by calling them idolaters are hard polytheists. But if you, it'll work. It'll work on Hindus because they don't want to be known as idolaters.
Well,
You know,
some do and some don't.
well, the thing is that even with um,
Well,
you
can we agree? Can we agree? Just the two of us agree about which one? Because I mean, otherwise these discussions are just endless and will never end. And actually, there's stuff to do and people to accuse of idolatry to get anywhere, or maybe you don't particularly want to get anywhere.
Well, no, I don't want to end idolatry like you do, but the thing is that I mean, um, okay, the Jews have a plan, and that is not to go too fast.
No, you,
And
you don't know if they have a plan or not because they're all these different Jews and they're all they
well,
all have their own agenda.
yeah, but there are certain things that they agree on, and that is on being careful. And right at this moment,
Careful about what?
well, it would be better for them to promote Christian Science as a Noahide.
Okay,
What?
there's nobody. You keep saying that, but it doesn't happen. That okay, nobody cares about Christian Science because you
No,
were the one who told me that all the churches have been closed down. So
yeah, no,
it's
but Jehovah's Witness, and what I'm saying is that they're not. They would rather just say for now, uh, instead of going to everyone, well, instead of claiming everyone to be idolatry, it's better to take a step and say we'll become Christian Scientists or become Jehovah's Witness or something like that, than to
okay.
I
Okay,
don't.
there is you can't prove that there's this group of Jews who say, oh, let them get there by degrees. Um,
Well, they are Jews. They just want you to get rid of the
Yeah,
Trinity,
because
right?
they're just scared. And anyway, Christian
Yeah, but
Science is nowhere.
it's step one. It's getting rid of the Trinity is
No, no,
step
no,
one.
no hide laws. Explaining what they mean is step one. But they don't really want to do it. They just want to go through the motions of doing it.
Yeah, no, it's
To kind of think, oh, we're going to
getting
pay
rid of
lip
the Trinity.
service.
I know. Well, they do want them to remove the Trinity, but they're not going. Okay, they're just going slowly, and they're saying, okay, question the Trinity. They're not telling them to throw the whole religion out all
Yeah,
at
yeah,
once.
okay, okay, okay. Okay, you know my agenda, and my agenda is to call them, even the Jews guilty of hidden idolatry. If I explain to you what I'm trying to do, maybe you can sort of understand it and see if it's useful to you, the positions that I take.
Yes, you have explained them, but what I'm saying is that the Jews know they just cannot like tell Christians to drop the New Testament tomorrow. That's not happening. So they're taking a more. You're saying they're being unprincipled, and maybe they are, But I think that being unprincipled is helping them and is going to make them successful. So I don't care that they're being unprincipled. I just care about their ability to be successful. Yeah, they are being unprincipled, but it's working.
You don't know if it's working or not.
Well, it's
You know,
spreading. It's spreading. Look,
so
Noahidism is
what is spreading? Christian
Noahidism.
Science?
No, Noahidism. It is spreading, even though it's not spreading fast enough for you. Doesn't mean that it's not spreading, and
Okay,
does
well, I mean, obviously, I have a finite lifetime. I do want to get things done, and maybe you're just doing it to amuse yourself, and you don't
no, I'm
really
not.
want it to
You
get
think
anywhere
okay? So
soon.
are you saying the Jews who wrote the Noahide laws 1400 years were just not serious because they weren't looking for it to get done in their lifetime, and they wrote it down knowing full well that none of that was going to get done while they were alive. So why do they even bother? You're saying anyone who had a long-term project wasn't serious, and you're
No,
saying
no,
anyone.
not at all. I commend them on their achievement of.
Okay, well, don't say
Uh,
I'm not serious because that I have a
okay,
long-term
but I'm
project.
talking about the ones now who are, well, degenerate and unprincipled.
Which
and,
ones?
and, and
No,
only want
who?
they just want to say, look at me, I'm a Jew, I'm privileged, I'm God's chosen people, screw you, Gentile.
I,
That's
I,
what they think their purpose is. And then when you confront them about it, they'll say, oh no, we just want to be, you know we just want to serve humanity. I mean, this is what Duvet does, right? And then the next time you'll say, well, actually, I do want to I do want to piss on you and mock you for being a dumb guy. And they will, it's this revolving door thing for Dubin, isn't it? I mean, but maybe we can psychoanalyze him and ask why he does what he does.
well, I don't know. It's very commonly Jewish to like work both sides of the street, and
Well,
cover.
he's not really. I mean, he has no respect from other Jews. They all hate him. I mean, the only respect he gets is from, you know, the the Gentiles who love to hate Jews because he's the perfect Jew that they can hate because he says things like, "Yeah, dumb goyim," you know, calling Stephen a dumb goyim, uh, saying, "Oh, the Jews win. Whatever we do, we always win." You know, so I guess he's doing it because he wants to gloat. He even admitted to David Yorkshire. Did you hear the exchange between him and David Yorkshire on
No,
Stephen? Okay, I mean, I actually timestamped a lot of it. So you're saying yes, I am gloating. When David Yorkshire asked him if you're just gloating at us, all these migrants coming in that Jews brought in, and you know, and David was pretending that he you know he was responsible for it, and basically to keep sucking it up. That was what David was saying to David Yorkshire.
there
And
are Jews throughout history who were honest and said outrageous, salacious, anti-Gentile things, and just like revealed sinister plans and stuff like that. It's not like David's the first. I mean, it's not an uncommon Jewish trait to do something like that. Not every Jew does
yeah, he
it, but
walked back on it later, though. I mean, you didn't see him. You didn't watch Week in Review, did you, on Dubit's channel when Liam Jarrett rolled up drunk?
no.
So he rolled up and said, "Oh, I listened to you talking to David Yorkshire. Why do you hate us? Why do you want to genocide us? Why do you want to destroy us, etc." And David was quite rude to him, and um, and then later he walked back on it and said, "Oh well, I've lived in Detroit all my life. It's always been mixed. It's always been multicultural anyway, because Detroit is, of course, majority black when it was, well, when the car factories were there, right?" And then he said, well, and then after that, that they brought in all the the immigrants who weren't black, but who have, I guess, revived the economy or something. But and he was saying, well, even if he hated immigration, there was no way he could have, or there was nothing he could have done to prevent it anyway, because Detroit is, well, a Democrat stronghold, isn't it? So he could have voted against the policies of the Democrats. And also, he was saying that he hadn't voted. So why was he taking responsibility? I mean, obviously, it was to say, "Oh, I win. I always win because I'm a Jew." But actually, Duvit wasn't responsible for, for all the immigrants coming into Detroit. But so I asked myself why he would pretend such a thing, and it was to pretend to be a member of the managerial class,
Claire,
pissing
hold
on
on.
the Gentile.
Claire, hold on. Stephen J. James, I posted the stream link if you want to come on, like you said. And Claire, hold on, my sound is out. I got to drop out and come back in. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, let's see who's here. Stephen J. James is here.
Yo,
Hello. All right, you want to talk about Hinduism and Maya. What was that?
Oh, Vincent, the sounded worse. Hi, Stephen.
yeah. Is that on Vincent's end?
It's not on mine.
Try again, Vincent.
Oh, my sound?
Yeah, you might need to go out and come back in
Yeah,
again.
you were fine before.
Is it better now?
Not that much
I don't
better.
think so. No.
What is this Maya thing, Stephen?
Let's wait for Vincent to come back, huh? Maybe. He's back.
Hello?
Hello. Can you say? Oh no, it's
No,
still
it's
going on.
It's not better.
Hold on.
It's pretty bad. It sounds like your mute button's being
Hello?
pressed.
Can you
every
hear
2
me
seconds.
now?
Perfect.
Better.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, there's like a delay. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, so what did you have to say about Maya, Stephen?
So I'm actually interested in this. That's why I've come on. It's not a troll or anything. It's Buddhism, isn't it, basically? And so look, I've got this book, The Zen Teachings of Bodhidharma.
Yeah.
And what's your problem with the Buddhist understanding of Maya, that the world is illusion, Vincent? What's wrong? What's your problem with that?
Well, it's that, okay. I don't know. I know Buddhism and Vedanta are a little bit different, but to kind of say that the universe doesn't exist outside of living minds, I don't think that that's true. And
Yeah.
I think that it leads to bad outlook and bad actions and bad thinking.
Okay. Well, so I don't exactly know what the Hindu stuff and Vedanta is, and obviously I don't know much about this Buddhism stuff as well. But the stuff that I do think that I do understand is motivational, and when it comes down to it, it's an attempt to explain reality that nobody can fucking explain when it comes down to it. Okay, how we are here and why we are here. Even if you think that it's just like science has the exact answers and we are just atoms and electrical forces and things like that, nobody can explain where we came from and everything. And so the Buddhist attempt to do it is to explain everything that exists as essentially one consciousness. It's almost an attempt to explain things as in like simulation theory. The modern day version of Buddhism really is this simulation theory that we're all kind of running in some kind of subroutine in a computer, and that maybe you yourself are running the simulation. Okay, maybe you entered into some kind of simulation on a space station somewhere in the middle of the universe, or in a universe that we can't even explain, and are running this simulation for yourself. But so their idea of Maya, they say that well, let's put it this way, right? It's a good way to understand the world and a motivating way to understand the world, because it explains how people who, when they seek out like the bad things in life and they focus upon the worst aspects of the world, like if you are always interested in the rape gangs and the black crime and all these things that are going on in the world, and yeah, endless migration and terrible, horrific things going on, then that is the world that you will inhabit. That is the world. That is basically the reality that you are creating with your mind. Okay, it is the world that you will exist in. It is the world like that Millennial Woes crafted for himself 10 years ago, sat in his basement, believing that the world outside was this terrible, dark place with all these terrible problems that were imprisoning him from having a good life. But really, the problem was inside his own mind. He only had to change his own mind to have had a successful life. But instead, it was his own mind that was essentially projecting out upon the world. Yes, real problems exist out in the world. Okay, there are real things in the world. Like the Buddhists might imagine that, like on the seas, you encounter icebergs or out there that are real impediments. But really, you do craft reality inside your own mind. And when you see the Buddha sat, you'll often see him depicted in front of like a lake, which is meant to be a reflecting pool. And I think that this signifies that the world is like a mirror, is a reflecting pool of your own mind, and you do
No,
inhabit.
I don't believe that at all, because I mean,
No, but it's philosophical. Even if it's not the accurate explanation of physical reality, it's a philosophical
yes, I know.
explanation.
But look, people who believe in nonsense are happier and more powerful, because look, if it's the same thing with affirmations. People who believe that God is totally there for them and nothing bad can happen to them, and who are stupid enough to forget when bad things do happen to them anyway, are very happy, and it can be very motivating, and they can stay very positive in very negative situations. And I'm not denying that that helps you. You know who's very much into Norman Vincent Peale and all these fucking affirmations? God loves me, nothing bad can happen, is Donald Trump. And he said he wouldn't have been able to get through being in
Look at his
$1 billion in
success.
debt unless he did these affirmations every day in the morning. And yes, it does help him. I cannot sit there and do these fucking affirmations, or say things that don't make sense to me just to make my life easier, because I have to believe it. I can't just like fake it.
So here's another a way to look upon this kind of thing, right? There's a new age version of this. I'm not a new ager, Vincent. I think it's all fucking trash too and ridiculous. But I I saw this guy, this New Ager, like another another retelling of like the Buddhism of Maya stuff, and their version of it was there's this guy who believes that he channels aliens, okay, and okay, he channels this alien who like explains things to humanity, and his explanation was that every person is deciding their own reality at every moment with every choice that they make, and we like in the universe we inhabit billions. There are billions of different universes, and with every choice that you are making, you are entering a new different universe. And this is basically the same retelling of it, and it's not a bad philosophy for people to have, because in some way, fundamentally, you do carve out your own reality, Vincent. You
Well,
are the
yes, you
master of your
do.
own destiny.
Okay, you do a little bit. Yeah, I understand what you're saying with that. First of all, yes, but there's no free will. So, I mean, are you really? I mean, not really, but it feels that way. So, the things that I tell
Who
people
says
about
there's no free will?
I don't believe in free will, no, but I
Why
mean, I
not?
know
Why not? I mean, you can't be a materialist and not believe in free will, surely.
I'm not an immaterialist, I'm a materialist.
Yeah, so you can't be a materialist and not believe that you have agency.
I know, yes, you can. I don't, Stephen, if you think that, what are you talking about? You think I'm the first materialist determinist?
So what? What? So who wrote the script? Who wrote your script?
Nobody. I'm determined by the laws of physics and biochemistry, and it's all just going along like, according to this, to physical law, to necessitarianism. I mean, I'm surprised that I have to explain determinism to you.
No. So you're not suggesting that there's some kind of supernatural script that's just playing out, are you? You're just basically saying you can only act within the bounds of the physical possibilities, but you are
Yeah,
choosing those physical possibilities, aren't you? You accept that.
yeah. No, you're just
Like
doing what.
you chose to do this live stream today. It wasn't predestined, was it?
Yes, it was predestined.
Oh, come off it. No, it wasn't.
I do
That's
believe it was.
that's as fucking kooky as Claire
Wow,
calls.
you think I'm really the first person to believe in predestination on this planet?
So you think that everything that will ever happen
Yes,
has already been, in the order that it will happen, has
yes.
already been. That's a supernatural belief, Vincent.
That's not a supernatural belief. That's
Of course it
scientific
is.
determinism.
It's ridiculous.
No, are you? I can give you a whole philosophical
It's dumb.
treatise on determinism, and
Oh,
I'll find all the scientific
so where
evidence.
did it come from? Where did this script come
I'll
from?
find all the scientific evidence for determinism. If you
No,
think,
no, just explain it to me in 2 sentences. Come on.
well, okay,
If you
the thing
believe
is
it.
that I don't make a decision. There's biochemical antecedents before I make a decision that I'm not in control of. My brain, my physical brain, needs to make the decision before me, before I'm even aware of the fact that I'm making the
Oh,
decision.
this is a
I
fucking cope. This is a big
Are
cope,
you
Vincent.
kidding me? This is like scientific evidence that they do on monkeys and
This
brain
is a massive
scans.
cope.
If
Come on. So therefore, you should believe that like murderers should not be punished then, if
No,
they didn't
no,
choose
because
to
it's
do it.
their fate to be punished. Because people are fated to, be outraged when you murder someone. So yes,
Oh my
you're
God.
destined to go to jail.
That's just ridiculous. I can't accept that. If you accept that, well, why haven't you killed yourself?
Because I'm not destined to.
Oh my God. You think you're destined to sit here and talk to Claire Core for 4 hours a day?
Yes.
Oh my God. Ah. Claire, how do you feel about this?
I frankly cannot make sense of his position, because if you talk about the predestination, then somebody
Had to have written it.
Yeah,
No,
somebody
it's
wrote
physical.
it, and
Oh
God
God,
did.
guys, you're so dumb. If
Ah,
you have never come across
He
scientific
gets very
determinism, you're
angry too.
retarded.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what okay, I have to look it up now, scientific determinism, to send you articles on people who are scientists that don't believe in free will. Like you're that outside that loop that you don't know that?
No, that we are prisoners to our biological functions and our instincts,
Yes.
sure. But not
No,
that everything that happens was already destined to happen in the
yes,
exact order.
yes.
Yes, nature imposes boundaries and limitations upon what is possible, but
No,
not
okay.
that there
This
is a
is
script
this
that
is
was
a
written and it's
very
playing out.
there are a lot of
You've been infected by Abrahamism, Vincent. You are an Abraham.
no, please.
And
That's people, you just throw that
A,
around. Free will is Abrahamism. Determinism is not.
you are Abrahamic.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are, dude. Yes, you are.
No, please.
Oh my God.
Vincent, you are neurotic. I mean, just admit it.
No, I
But
don't.
this is where it's only people. Okay, people who believe in predestination believe in God.
No, you don't know. There's scientific predestination. I believe that every atom that's ever moved caused it moved in that direction because it was according to the scientific laws, and I believe that my brain chemistry acts in accordance with scientific laws, and the brain biochemicals make my consciousness. I don't impose movement on the biochemistry of my brain.
Why do you deny your own moral agency? You are
Because
you
I don't
you are
think there's
denying
scientific
your own
evidence for
It's a
it.
dignity.
cope, isn't it? It's a
I don't think there's
fucking
scientific
cope.
evidence for it.
Oh my God.
I mean, it doesn't make sense, does it, Stephen?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. Yes, nature imposes limitations. There are only possibilities. There are only certain
Okay, well,
outcomes that we can
now I
choose.
obviously have to educate you both on this, and that's going to take a lot of time and energy. And people are that dumb that they don't even know that the other side exists, and you're acting like it's
Who
some
wrote the script? How
Why are
did the
you
script get
acting like
formed?
I made it up? You're acting like I've made up some
No, I
zany
just you
philosophy.
believe you seem to you insist that it's like a certainty. So where did it come from?
Well, that's the point when you just say I don't know and you don't make stuff up. Look, you're not really like in ideal circumstances. People wouldn't discuss the eight causal realm because you can't make sense of it. So it's just something that you would say, I really don't know, and I don't want to talk about it because I can't know it. So it's just pointless to discuss it. But people like
Wow.
you
You're
people,
sounding so much more religious than I ever thought possible, Vincent.
oh
You
please,
are a Calvinist.
Yes, deep down,
Yeah.
Vincent is deeply religious.
Vincent is a Calvinist. You
Because
understand that, don't you,
Calvinists
Vincent?
believe in predestination.
Yeah.
I mean, Catholics and Anglicans, they're not that bothered. They can be, they don't think about it that much. But Calvinists,
They
I'm not
believe that
quite
they're
sure the
scripted.
purpose of predestination is, though.
Well, they believe God wrote the script. God knows exactly what's going to happen. In some ways, it's like whether you agree with David or not, but whether you agree he believes what he believes. But like when he argues with other people, he says, "Don't you have faith in God? Don't you believe that God is, God's running the world, not me, not you?" And fundamentally that was like predestination taken to its final form by John Calvin, wasn't it? Script is written when you're born.
No,
yeah,
I mean, the Calvinists are very, very gloomy. They're basically saying it's not enough to get to heaven with good works alone, and only a few people are saved. Even if they do charity and try to be good, they're not going to be
Yeah.
saved. And I never understood why his ideas were so popular because a lot of people, I mean, atheists as well as people who, believers, they want to think that they enjoy free will because it's more, dignified to have free will than not to have free will.
Yeah, I disagree. I think atheists who believe in free will are idiots.
But you can't really
Well,
prove any of that.
Well,
there'd
I
been
mean,
no motivation to do anything.
yes, you do. You're destined to have motivation. Fine, you don't think you're destined. Okay, good for you. I think I am destined. Like, I think I'm destined to do, like, to not be bad. I think I'm destined to do something useful. That's what I'm destined to do.
But there's no evidence for this belief, Vincent, was
There's no
there?
evidence
You
for
haven't.
free will either.
I mean,
Look,
the best way to
everything,
reconcile this sort
every
of free
you're
will is that
saying, this
everybody
is
is
what you're
supposed to have
saying.
it, but not
You
everybody
are
uses
saying
it.
you are saying that everything except for consciousness is run by determinism, and consciousness is different, and that's run by free will. Like,
You
what?
believe that children who have leukemia and die suffering agonizing deaths at like 4 years old were destined for that to happen, don't you?
By science, not by God. By
How could science destine that for a
look,
child?
when all the atoms that have ever moved on this earth had to move in the way that they had to move because there were physical laws that they were under. There was no free movement. The atoms weren't making, like, there's no free movement. It was destined. It couldn't escape. It couldn't
No,
escape.
they no, exactly the opposite of what you're saying. Okay, so essentially, matter is energy that is vibrating at a certain frequency, so to speak. Okay, matter can coalesce within the laws of physics, so it's bounded by possibilities, but within those possibilities, okay, many different things can happen.
No, this is what where are these possibilities coming from on the macro level? Like, what are you talking? I never even heard of this. That it's possibilities. No, like, it's like
Just the
on the macro level, it's Newtonian physics. It, like, atoms move by the way that they're predestined to move.
no.
Yes,
What
the
about
planets.
sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction is great evidence. The mixing of genes that is random, that doesn't happen, that doesn't go by
No, it's not
any
random.
order.
Those biochemicals are just as destined as rocks and water and anything physical and planets. They're not any less
Hmm.
bound to the necessity of physical law.
No, 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 they're not less bounded by physical law. Of course, everything is bounded within the laws of the universe. Yeah, which
And
are
there's no
just
possibilities. There's not possibilities don't exist. No.
oh my God. I think you'll just have a fundamentally misunderstood understanding of science.
No, I don't think so. The Clockwork Universe is not anything I made up, and E.O. Wilson says that we need to kind of return to that. And there's definitely a misunderstanding of quantum mechanics. And when you actually read these, like, when you actually read it, people who are not scientists are misunderstanding what the scientists are saying. Observation doesn't mean observation in the way that we think of observation. It means measurement, which is different. I mean, I just posted that article on how quantum physics doesn't prove Christian Science, and how it's just based on, like, common people misinterpreting what the physicists are saying. Like, that's why, I mean, I don't even understand these things. That's why I don't believe you understand these things, and I'm just too
No,
dumb.
I don't. Of course, I'm not going to fall in the trap of pretending to have any understanding of quantum physics. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, and so it's just, no, I truly, obviously now I have to, like, go get people's books that promote determinism and actually show you that there's like real living, determinists, breathing scientific determinists out there.
I would be absolutely shocked if any credible scientist who is not like deeply a Calvinist of some form, or some other religious kook, deep down, like a crypto religious kook, would have the belief that there is a script that's being played out.
Not script.
And
It's not a script. There's no God behind it. It's just chemicals moving like in a test tube. What are you talking about? A script?
well, you said that everything that happened, that your life, your
Because of
destiny,
deterministic law, because of physical deterministic law, not because some God is writing a script.
yeah, no, there's a deep, no, sorry, just can't accept it. There's a deep religious conviction that underlies this kooky idea. I'm not having it any other way.
It's not religious. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It will be the mystery to your neurosis.
Yeah, you're a Calvinist.
You're acting like I just made this up and like the only people that believe this are Calvinists.
No, I'm sure there's other fucking kooks out there too, but you should just come out as a Christian. We'll accept you.
Okay, well, obviously now
Or a secular Quranist.
I have to do a lot of like if people are that dumb, then there needs to be some kind of education on that. People ask, so Living the Dream, is talking about how like I'm possessed and how it's because I was like practicing witchcraft at a young age, and he wants to know if I was gay before I started practicing witchcraft, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, look, I can believe it. I'm happy to believe that there are people who are born gay. I think it's quite possible. I also think that it can be inflicted by some kind of trauma in childhood, or it's biologically happens at birth. Who knows? I think both is the answer to that one. I mean, I knew a kid at school who in my class, and I'm talking first school, so what's that? Up to like age 8 or something. So at some point there, I have memories of that there was like a gay kid in the class. Everybody knew he was. It was obvious, and he grew up and was a gay kid. Everybody knew it all along. Now whether who's being bombed by his uncle or something, I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure I've given you much to talk about, so I'll head off. Thanks for having me.
Yep, sure. Bye.
See you later.
So Vincent, you are. Could
What?
it be said that you are destined to be a secular Quranist?
No, I'm not destined to be a secular Quranist.
I suppose people think it's more dignified to have free will, and others think when they fail, they say, oh, well, it was meant to be. The thing that I really hoped for and wanted, well, I wasn't meant to have it, so I accept God's will and I'm not going to cry too much about it. It was meant to be. So it's comforting. And predestination is also a religious position that Jews and Christians also
really have to educate you on this. You're acting like there's no such thing as scientific determinism, and I just made that up today. Like that's what you're just you're practicing obscurantism. You're taking my idea and you're just saying, oh, like that doesn't even exist. Nobody even believes that. I mean, I didn't come up with this stuff.
Okay, interestingly, Muslims, do Muslims believe in predestination? I think most people just believe in a bit of both. It's like, people use free will to kind of motivate people, and then use predestination when they fail. I think that is basically it. So it's a bit of both. So this is what it says. Um, Predestination means that Allah already knows everything that will happen, and nothing happens unless it is according to Allah's will. However, this doesn't mean that make the choices people make. Sorry, this. However, this does not mean that the choices people make are not free choices. Instead, it means that Allah knows what people will choose to do.
Yes, but he's also in control of it. So
Yeah.
he's in control of it. That doesn't make sense.
Well, it does because it's like a bit of both. It's like, yeah, he could look if he wanted, but he can't be bothered, and anyway, it'll sort itself out. I mean, we want to know, but we'll never know. We'll never know, and we have to accept it. But I mean, if you think you know what's going to happen, then you might not try. I mean, that's the disadvantage. Okay, shall I read it's only a short paragraph because it's only for school children on predestination in Islam. So, who's this Al-Qadar? Anyway, it says, Allah already knows everything that will happen, and nothing happens unless it is according to Allah's will. However, this doesn't mean that the choices people make are not free choices. Instead, it means that Allah knows what people will choose to do. The Quran says, "The Lord has created and balanced all things and has fixed their destinies and guided them." Muslims use this verse, chapter 87, verse 2 to 3. Muslims use this verse as evidence for the belief in predestination. Some Muslims like the idea of al-Qadar because they find it reassuring that if bad things happen, Allah must have planned them. Free will and judgment. The belief in free will is essential in Islam. This is because for Muslims, life is a test from Allah. Therefore, all human beings must take their own decisions on which they will be judged by Allah. On the day of judgment, God will have knowledge of the faith and actions of every person, which are recorded in the Book of Life. Key fact. The records of every individual's faith and actions will be read out to them on the day of judgment from the Book of Life. Muslims believe that God will reward those who have had faith and done good deeds and will punish those who have not. Muslims use the term inshallah frequently in conversation to express belief in al-Qadar. Inshallah means if God wills it to be so. For example, a Muslim might say, "Next summer, I will get a good grade in GCSE religious studies and go on to study at A level, inshallah." This person doesn't mean that they can just sit back and hope to get a good grade because it is Allah's will. They will still need to work really hard. However, if they do not get a good grade, they will know that it is not because of their lack of effort. Instead, it was not the will of Allah for them to achieve a good grade. Believing that Allah is good and merciful gives encouragement that there will be a different but good alternative future path.
Okay,
Muslims,
oh, Claire, just so you know, I just sent you an article of a neurobiologist who said we have no free will. I mean, I really didn't make this shit up. Like, you're acting like I've just, like, totally made something that's so unscientific and absurd that only I could believe it. Like, this is a and he's from Stanford. Like, if a Stanford neurobiologist who doesn't believe in free will isn't enough for you, then I have nothing else to show you. And who do you have to prove that free will exists? I'd like to see a scientist who has evidence that free will exists too. So, I mean, it is very disconcerting that you
Yeah, it
didn't.
says free will isn't a scientific question.
Yes, it is.
It just says this is the article that you sent to me from the
Oh, well, he's just
conversation,
being
and
idiot.
there's a heading that says free will isn't a scientific question.
No, oh, well, then he's just being stupid. But he shows.
It's an article you sent me.
Hold on. Where did he say it's not a scientific
At the
question?
bottom, the last heading, it says free will isn't a scientific question.
Compatibilists are right. It's not highlighting their nuanced debate to engage with. Free will is a thorny issue, showing nobody is responsible for what they require understanding, engaging with all the positions in all philosophy doesn't do this. Wait, no, but the neurobiologist didn't write this. This is the author who said free will isn't. This is his opinion, not what the scientist said. That's the author. That's not the scientist's opinion. The scientist's opinion is that free will doesn't exist. This is the author is saying that it.
Well, it can't be proven either way. I don't know why you want to go down these blind alleys where you won't be able to prove
Okay, well,
anything. Why
obviously,
can't we have, discussions and
it's not
debate that actually go somewhere?
well because the question of it does matter. It's a matter of facts and just.
You can't prove it, so what's the
Yes, you
point?
can. You can prove it because.
Oh, Mr. Palou is
Okay, Claire,
here.
what else besides us uses free will? Give me one scientific law that relies on free will, and then you have to prove that our consciousness is in control of our brain chemistry and not the other way around. My brain chemistry is in control of my consciousness. I'm not forcing my neurotransmitters to act the way they're acting. I'm not doing that.
What I'm saying is that nobody will, not enough people care about it to argue about it, and most people will just say it's half, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Anyway, Mr. Palou is here. Maybe he will join us and give us a benefit of his opinion about free will and predestination.
Well, I obviously have to.
Shall I post a link in the...
Sure. I'll
Okay.
post. I'm posting it.
All right.
Well, I really have to.
I mean, it's obviously controversial and people will just never agree. So I just don't understand why you keep going on about it like it's something as certain as, oh, the world is, the sun goes
There's no
round.
reason. There's no
The
reason.
sun
If
doesn't go
everything.
round here.
No, it's this. If everything works on determinism, then there's no reason to believe in free will. There's nothing else. There's no other instance in the universe you can show me where that works, and I have no reason to believe in free will. There's no reason to think that
No,
it
it's
matters.
not as black and white as that, and you know it.
Yeah, it is. We have no control over what goes on in our brain chemistry at all.
So are you saying there's no point punishing any criminal?
No. We're destined. Humans are naturally created to want justice for things like that. So, no, we're we're destined to behave like that. Just like animals are destined to get angry if you steal their food. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that's their nature, and nature created them that way.
So
Yo,
are you saying...
what's up? I'm back.
Good, he's come back.
So
Good.
look,
Okay,
Look.
fine. I know I made a mistake. I know you don't have to prove it. I made a mistake, but what does it say? What does it say? What mistake?
now I want a big revelation here, okay? Hate to break it to you, Vincent, but you've been, you know who'd, okay? Robert Sapolsky, the author of this determined theory. Look here. First of all, feast your eyes upon him. Who was he? He was raised an Orthodox Jew.
Okay, yeah, but that's not. So what?
I told you that behind this shit, there
No.
is somebody who has a
Yeah, but
deeply
Orthodox
held
believe in free
religious
will.
belief.
Orthodox Jews believe in free will.
Not all of them.
It is
Free will is
possible to be religious and not religious and believe in free will and predestination
free
and
will.
believe in a bit of both. That's
Okay,
what
well,
they
but
do
no,
all the time.
the most Orthodox Jews believe in free will. Free will is part of Judaism. Okay, we're ready. Well, anyway, guys, I do have to go, so we'll end it there. But you know, Orthodox Jews believe in free will, so I'm going to have to do a whole blog, a whole show on this, and I will invite you both back, and we can discuss just this. And okay, so what? Why does it matter that he looks like that? Anyway, he is a neurobiologist at Stanford, so I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Don't you
You're
dare
wrong.
don't pursue your destiny, guy.
Now I have to start a stream.
Okay,
because I
Hapa agrees with me, so I have at least one. I have one person. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I have to eat. But
Okay.
I'll talk to you guys later. We were on for an hour, so that's a good show.
Okay, later.
Bye.